So with these youth programs, what age do you think we should target? What age group?
Oh gosh. So I hate to say that there would be one age group to target because there are reasons to target every age group, I think. I would say there's a lot of people looking at early childhood programming, which you might not put in the youth category, but a lot of people are looking at that as early intervention in prevention, really, to prevent students from at-risk behavior in the future, and getting them caught up or at grade level for school, and that could prevent kids from dropping out later and things like that. But there's also about the age of 3rd, 4th grade, I think is an age when if you can get kids involved, get them interested in activities, and that can be a really critical age before students that is an age when kids get involved in gangs or drugs or crime. So I think that's good. High school, there's a lot of need for that. People will argue that it's a lot harder to intervene at that point, but I would definitely not say that's a reason to not have programming at that time. Some programs that have been interesting working with teens, especially, are teen employment programs, and I think that's a really great way to address the needs of teens in the neighborhood. That would be my favorite recommendation for that age group. Yeah.
Okay. With the issue of vacant houses, do you know what's being done about them right now, or what should be done?
What should be done, what would be great, is if the city would get the money to be able to take them down, essentially. Unfortunately, there are so many of them that's a huge cost, and the city doesn't have that money to do it. There are also people besides the city who own the property who might not live in St. Louis, just don't have investment in it, and it would be great if there were some policies that force them to take care of their property. So it seems like a lot of people seem pretty pessimistic about being able to address the vacant housing problem because it's so large. But I know there are some groups who are trying to do it in a very small scale way of just buying a house and trying to renovate it. So that is a small way that people are trying to address the issue.
Yeah. So even after renovating these abandoned houses, how do we bring people into the neighborhood rather than having people flee when they can, you know?
Well, I think having housing here is one thing that would bring people back, knowing that you have quality housing to live in, also that's affordable to people. But I don't think people are going to move back to the neighborhood until they feel safe. When people talk about reasons people have left the Ville and other areas of North St. Louis, it's usually around safety issues. And the city in general, people are leaving, and a lot of people will say that that's because of the education system, that there aren't quality schools to send their kids to. So I think that safety and education are two of the biggest things that need to be changed. And, well, I'll add a third one. Jobs. If people had access to jobs in the area, that would be another thing that would attract people to the area again.
Are there a lot of job opportunities around here in the neighborhood?
No. Based on what people have told us, and also recently looking at some statistics from some census data, the American Community Survey of how long it takes people to get to where they work, so people who would live in this neighborhood, and there's a large, I don't remember the exact percentage of people that, they drive or somehow take transportation for about 30 minutes or so to get where they need to work, which indicates that there are not opportunities where people live to work, and that's a huge problem, especially if people don't so you think of the people who don't have that transportation to get to their jobs, and it leaves people with very few options of job opportunities.
So there's a lack of jobs. What about job skills? Do you feel like that is something that also needs to be worked on?
Yes. I would say looking at graduation rates in the area, if you want to say job skills equate to whether people have graduated from high school or from college or some kind of higher education degree, then there needs to be a lot of improvement done on that side. However, it would be nice if there were also jobs that you wouldn't necessarily need a college degree to get. So, yeah. And I haven't talked to a lot of individuals about what kind of job skills they would like to have. So I don't completely know the answer to that question. But
Yeah.
I have heard people talk about one of the problems with job training classes is that you get trained in these skills and then there aren't actually jobs available to use the skills. So sometimes they don't feel like those kinds of classes are effective unless they can directly connect you to a job opportunity.
Do you feel like there's anything the neighborhood can do, like grassroots level, in terms of providing more job opportunities? Like through new facilities or programs or activities?
I mean, there's always ways to encourage entrepreneurship, so small businesses, people in the neighborhood. I'm sure that there are some that are operating already, that people are, either selling food, making things, all different things that I think if those kinds of small businesses could be supported, whether it be by banks helping them to get loans. There's a group, Justine Peterson, they help give small loans to businesses that are starting up. If there could be more access for people who are trying to start their own businesses, I think that would be a great way to encourage business in the area. On a larger level, people I'm sure would love to see large companies wanting to be here. That's a little bit harder. And not really a grassroots solution. So, yeah, I guess small businesses would be the best way I could see it, or having teen employment programs through some of the nonprofits in the neighborhood could also facilitate some of that.
Does Incarnate Word do that? Fund small businesses or entrepreneurship initiatives?
We fund North Grand Neighborhood Services, and they have 2 teen employment programs, Angel Baked Cookies and the Fences for the Futures program, and they are paying teens to, they're running businesses.
Right.
The Angel Baked Cookies is a cookie
Is that
baking
St.
business.
Teresa and Bridget?
Yes. And so that is one example of a group that we fund who is doing that very successfully. And then we also are funding a group called Parents as Entrepreneurs, and that's actually in the Hyde Park neighborhood of North St. Louis. And they are training parents who are interested in starting a business, might already have a business informally kind of happening, and they get trained in how to create a business plan and get their business started. And so far that has been pretty successful, and they're very optimistic about a couple of the businesses starting. So we are trying to help groups that are interested in that work.
Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like to say?
The one thing I will say is that people, I think, when we're looking at what's going on in North St. Louis and the Ville neighborhood, we're looking at the problems a lot, and I think there are a lot of strengths in the neighborhood, and I've been so impressed by all of the good work that's being done in this neighborhood and across North St. Louis, and I hope that people get to see what work is being done here.
Thank you.
Thanks.